Hello Pisces, welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. Thank you for joining me if you're new. Welcome to 2020. Hope you have a fabulous year. This is a general reading, so aspects of it may apply to you, but it could also apply to somebody else that you're interacting with at this time. You could see it playing out in their life, or aspects of playing out in their life. If you have influences in your birth chart associated with another sign which you tend to follow, for instance, if your moon or your Venus is in a different sign and you find that does influence you, then you can cross-watch to my other videos and get more information and insights there. I've already shuffled and laid out the cards. I work with the 12 houses of the zodiac, so as the cards are appearing in each house, then those are the influences that are coming to bear for you at this time. Bottom of the deck is Saturn Truth. So this is coming up quite a bit actually in the signs at the moment. And I think it's also because of it's the turning of the year. We're leaving a decade behind and moving forward. So there's a great deal of contemplation going on and facing certain things that need to be addressed and so on. So this card is no different. This is the Lord of Karma. It's one of the ones that are especially good at this. Saturn Truth. So this card is going to bring energies around at this time, which is about facing your truths. This is a very necessary and important process because what you're trying to do is construct strong foundations in life and in love. And Saturn is here to help you with that. Anything that's constructed on a wobbly or shaky foundation will simply crumble under the rays of Saturn. All right. So, but that's for your own good, because ultimately the whole point of this restriction and limitation, or literally things falling down around you, sometimes can happen. The whole reason that happens is so that you can actually build something firm to bring you the achievement that you want. So that's the energy of Saturn. There's no quick fix with Saturn. You have to apply patience, and it's going to take some toil and effort in order to bring those aspects into you. Once they're fully understood and integrated, then the doors open for you and the benefits are massive. Then in the first house, we have fire element desire. So the first house is the house of the self, your self-oriented interests. It's also your physical body, your life force, your vitality. It's what you project to others at this time, and it's also how they perceive you right now. It also covers your characteristics and your personality and so on. So everything to do with the self, what impressions you are making on others as well. It's also very much to do with your personal independence, how you're making your way in the world. So now with the fire element desire coming in, this is going to reflect where you're going to, you've kind of been given permission now to pursue your goals with, you're going to feel driven. So pursue your goals with great energy now. Whatever is appropriate for you, all right? So a fire has been lit and things have been stirred into action. They're going to be swift changes, whether you're making swift changes or swift changes are coming for you. But it's got a clearing of the landscape energy, this card. So clearing the landscape for new things, planting new things. In some cases, it can be literally burning the past away. Burning the past away so that the land is now fallow and you can replant or leave it for a while and then replant once you've sussed out what it is you want to do. But this is requiring rapid reaction from you. It's going to bring in courage and daring for you to achieve what you want to do, what you want to put into place. It could also be to do with a love affair or pursuing love in some way. So you're going to be feeling very passionate. You may have a sudden attraction which appears in your life and you feel very passionate about this person, and it's the pursuit of that. It could also just be passionate about your interests or what it is you want to do. Something comes up like that. You may just need to protect your interests at this time from advice from those who do not understand you or do not understand your situation or what is going on or what your deeper desires are. Okay, they seem to think they do, but they don't. and they offer advice in conjunction with that. Don't take it, okay? You must follow your own goals now, and your own drives and ambitions. This card can also be about taking a new approach to something. So something, what you've been doing before may not be working anymore, and this is affecting a great deal of people across the world. It's affecting everybody. Old approaches just simply are not working now. We've got to come up with new ideas, new plans, and apply ourselves in different ways. And this is going to give you the courage and the daring to do that. Then in the second house, we have South Node, life's debts. So the second house is the house of income, how that's coming in for you. It's also the house of self-worth and the house of values, your value systems. So what you value in yourself, what you value in other people, or just what you value in your possessions. So this is all about ownership as well, this house. And this can also be to do with land and real estate, property, and so on. Whether it's yours or it's a profession for you or whatever. Okay, so now with this card coming in, this is basically a turning point for you now. So you're getting the courage and the energy to do this, and this is coming in for you. So something in this house, something must be cast off now. Old and familiar will fall away. So it's also about dropping any baggage that is holding you back. So you've now reached a turning point. You've got to get rid of all of that because doors are closing so that you can open new ones. It could be quite an abrupt closing as well. But whatever other doors you are trying to open, don't give up in that process, because not all the doors will open for you, but there will be doors that will open, but it's the right ones, right? So, and it's the process that you go through, that very uncomfortable feeling where things have changed and now you need to redirect yourself. And it's that void that you go through in between. It's basically you're clearing away the old to make way for the new. You're going to be out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to get out of your rut, whatever rut that you've been in. So anything old and familiar that has held you in place or been in place for a long time is going to change now. So take advantage of any changes that are going on and make them work for you. Break old patterns. Whether this is to do with your self-worth, your self-talk, how you talk to yourself, change it, be positive. Let go of old stuff, things that just has not worked for you. It could be attitudes, it could be ideas, it could be, your value systems. Things that you used to value before, just not going to work for you anymore, and you need to redirect your energy now. It could also be to do with income. Perhaps streams of income that you've had are now changing. So it is also very much connected with the 8th house, which is your other money house. And there's a revolution going on in there. So there seems to be a general turnaround going on in your finance houses, but it obviously spills over into other areas, which I will get to. But second house is your income, your self-worth, and your values. Then in the third house, we have Sun Spirit. So whatever changes are coming in for you and you need to make now, this is going to give you quite a boost. The third house is your house of communication. It's how you express yourself. It's also your brand. You are your brand. So how are you projecting that at this time? And what are you giving out? So it's all about that. It's a reassessment of everything, really. And your communication house covers written, verbal, body language, which comes down to, is connected to self-worth as well. So all of these aspects come in with the third house. It's also the house of documents and contracts as well. So things may be changing for you now. As I said, with the second house, income streams may be changing for you now. And so now you've got to go after redirect your energy and go after other things. And this card is going to help you with that, okay? When one door closes, another one will open, and you're going to be given certain tools to achieve that. And this is one of the tools, all right? So the communication is with people in general. It can be on a wider audience. It can be really quite a big audience, or it can be with specific people. So this can be cousins, siblings, aunts, uncles, relatives. It can also be with neighbors or within your neighborhood as well. But whatever it is, it could also be, as I said, attached to, with the third house, it can also be about short trips and journeys. So taking a local trip somewhere for some reason, all right? So now it could be a nice sunny place, a warm place, or somewhere where that you want to go in summer. So now with this card coming in, what it's going to bring for you is confidence, strength to meet these changes that you must make now. It's about expressing yourself. So you must express yourself at this time. Step into the limelight. Stand up and be counted. Put yourself forward right now. This is very, very necessary now. Any sort of problems that you had before, issues with self-worth or things that were holding you back, must be cast off now. You've really got to take action and pull out, put your best foot forward. You may be called upon to give a speech or to do something or say something which is going to kind of really display an aspect of yourself that hasn't been noticed before, but it's going to be noticed, all right? So it will be noticed, you will be noticed, there will be appreciation. You're going to be feeling more charismatic and influential, and these are very important, so take responsibility for that, what you're giving out to others, okay? So what you're projecting. So your charisma, your influence, who are you inspiring at this time? Because you're going to be inspirational in some way. Learning and leadership comes in. So you're going to be, as I said, stepping into possibly some leadership role, but it's also about learning how to handle that and how to project it even onto a wider stage. Children may be in coming into this in some way, but creativity is highly indicated. Now, creativity, we all use it every moment, every day in our lives. It's not necessarily artistic, but creativity can be applied in many ways. We've all got creativity, okay? So how are you using that at this time? Think about your brand, and that's not necessarily a physical company that you're doing. It can be, but this is about you. You, what is your brand? What are you offering to the world? So your expression. As I said with the Sun Spirit card, it could be that you are planning a summer party or a summer event, or you're going to something. It could be coming up for you, but it's going to be a beautiful event, and it's something that everybody's looking forward to. Then in the 4th house, we have Grand Cross Provoker. 4th house is your house of your home and your family. So when you break it down, it's your house, your physical house, but it's also where you are currently living. It's the atmosphere there where you are living and also the people in it. When it comes to family, this is your relationship with your ancestry, your roots, your foundation, where it is that you have come from, your ethnic identity, and so on. Some people have very traumatic relationships with that, or very, very difficult relationships with that. Some have great relationships. It just depends. So, all of that comes in this 4th house. So now with this, something is going down in this house at this time. You're under pressure. It's like you're juggling a lot of things going on at the moment. The Grand Cross Provoker is 4 very hard angles putting intense pressure on you. And it's going to require, you're going to feel overwhelmed, actually, because of so many things coming at you at once. There are going to be many demands on your talents and skills at this time. So whatever that may be. So the whole purpose of the situation is to build inner strength and stamina. Okay, so whatever is going down in this house, whether it's a practical thing to do with your actual physical house, or it could be a multitude of things going on, could be to do with a multitude of people in your home life, or visiting you at this time, and you're grappling with everything going on, all the issues, the old family dramas, the communications, and so on and so on and so on. It's also about using your energy wisely at this time. Because there's so much going on, you're really going to need to prioritize what's important. Consolidation is important, so consolidate your energies. Timing is important. And it's also about being disciplined at this time to achieve what needs to be achieved in this house. But this is a catalyst for movement and change. So you could be changing something in your home environment. Something is changing, or you're shifting something in this house. And this card is going to bring about situations where you're going to need to actually really bring your full force to bear, but in a disciplined and consolidated manner. Prioritize is very, very important. Then in the fifth house, we have part of fortune increase. So the fifth house is your house of your recreational activities, all sorts of recreational activities, fun activities. It can be sports, even any kind of activity which is you're getting enjoyment out of. It's also the house of children, whether they're your children or other people's children that you're kind of around at this time, or it could be to do with conception and so on. It's also the house of your creativity, your brand, your expression, your originality, your individuality, how you express yourself in your creative self, and everything to do with that. It's also the house of love affairs and what goes down in that. As other aspects that come in is also there's a sort of a risk-taking aspect to the fifth house, which is like gambling or stock exchange or stock market activities. So now with the fifth house, this is about you or your children at this time, you may be discovering hidden talents and abilities, because this card can do this. It is a destiny card. There are karmic triggers that come with this card. So something is going to trigger the rising of these hidden talents and abilities, or it's like a discovery, or it could be even something that you've kind of known about, but you've never really taken action on. And it's everything to do with that. As I said, it could be your children going through this, or you are going through this. You'll have to just see how it plays out for you. But there is learning required around that. So it's almost like the honing of that. How can you harness what you've discovered and make it work for you? So it's also about what resource in yourself have you overlooked, or in your situation. What resource have you overlooked? It's pot of gold. That's what this card is all about. Something that is sitting there waiting to be accessed, and it's just getting overlooked. All right. So a karmic trigger may come along and stir all that into action. This card is also just about good luck coming in for you, rewards, gifts may be coming in as a result of these talents and abilities being used, or it's just something that you've now coming back to you from past karmas, situations where this is coming back to you now. But you could find that benefits are falling into your lap. Just benefits are coming to you at this time, or to your children, as I said. Public relations or anything to do with that is very well indicated with this card. So you may be involved in that in some way, and it's very successful for you. There's recognition and achievement in this house. But it's a destiny card, so whatever is meant for you is going to come for you. As I said, you could see this unfolding in your children's lives as well. Then in the sixth house, we have Neptune sacrifice. Sixth house is your house of your workplace, your work colleagues, mastery of your craft, whatever it is that you do. It's also your daily work routines and so on. It's also very much the house of health and diet and your lifestyle. And I feel this may be leaning towards that in this reading. It's also the house of pets. Okay. So now with this coming in, you may just have to give something up for the greater good. So whether this is a health thing or a lifestyle thing, or it could be something coming up for you in your workplace, but you need to give something up possibly for the greater good. It's a kind of a surrendering to what is. A belief is very important with this card. So belief in a higher power and a higher consciousness to lead you where you need to be. Because at this time in this house, Neptune can draw a veil over things. So your path may not be clear. You may not get clarity on things. So always strive for clarity while Neptune is around. Be clear about what you say. Be clear about what you do. Be clear about your intentions, all right? Because confusion is possible. Illusion is possible. Sometimes deception is possible, or things may just be hidden. They may not be revealed. So there's kind of a mystery element with this. The other aspect of this is that you may find that you at this time have a connection to the divine. So it's like higher consciousness coming in. And if that's related to your work that you do, well, it's going to be activated even further. You may be getting downloads at this time and so on. If you are in a profession which requires connection to your imagination, your inspiration, fantasy, artistic pursuits, things like that. All of that is highly indicated with Neptune. It could also be filmmaking or TV, set production, things like that are all ruled by Neptune. Cosmetics, oils, perfumes, glamour, glamour in all its forms is indicated with Neptune. The other aspect of Neptune as well is you may have may come into contact with this, or maybe somehow touching your life, where there's escapism going on, or addictions are touching your life in some way. But it could also be that allergies need attention. You may also need to look at your home environment or your work environment. There could be toxins, poisons in the environment which are affecting your health. All right. So if that is the case, you need to change what you're doing or where you are. All right. Or take steps to protect yourself in some way. Medicines are indicated. Some way that you may be taking medicines which don't actually suit you. All right. So have a look at all of that from your health and your diet and your lifestyle point of view. You may also just need to sleep quite a bit at this time, or enjoy sleeping to prepare you for more things later on. So this is rest, deep rest. Nerves and lymphatic system may be taking a bit of a beating at this time. So see how you can improve on that. Excuse my kitty, she's meowing incessantly. All right, in the 7th house we have Jupiter abundance. So the 7th house is your house of your relationships. This is your close personal one-on-one relationship. So it's normally a committed relationship like a marriage, or it's a business partnership, or it's some other person that you have this committed sort of personal relationship with. So with Jupiter abundance coming in, this is a lovely card to be having in this house. It's a wonderful relief from other things that are going on. So this card brings in joy. It brings in happiness, contentment, generosity, abundance in all its forms. There's also strength that comes in with this card. Belief, the power of belief. It can also bring in relief from, so you've been through difficulties and something gets resolved, a solution is found, and relief comes to you in your relationship, and you just feel so much better about things. There could also be a rescue energy going on here. So something is rescued from the fire, from the debris. So something may have been in serious trouble, and you're experiencing a rescue. Something comes out of that. Or it could be a completion that you're enjoying at this time. So perhaps you've been through a long and difficult patch, or you've been grappling with something, and now you reach completion. And in comes the lovely happiness feelings of Jupiter. It could also be that you're experiencing good luck or a breakthrough of some kind, good fortune coming into you, positivity. This is very much the yes card as well. So if somebody has come into your life, a new love relationship, and that came up, that the passion is there possibly for a new relationship, if that is coming in for you, then this is the yes card to pursue it and make a deeper commitment to this person. All right. So it's the yes card, the move forward card, and there's joy and happiness in this whole situation. Or it could be the renewal of or the regeneration of an existing relationship. It can also bring in divine help and intervention when you really need it as well. So this could be divine assistance coming in to help you or your partner to move you forward in a good direction. One thing with Jupiter, when it comes in, you need to work at it to anchor the blessings down for yourself, because it's quite a rapid energy, and if you are complacent or so busy enjoying yourself that you don't nail it down, don't anchor the energies for you, it can just kind of drift away. So go after the love of your life, or this love person, or this partnership, or your goals, your relationship goals. Go after them and work at them to harness those blessings. There's purpose with this card as well. So you may find purpose in a relationship or in what the relationship has gone through. Then in the 8th house, we have solar eclipse revolution. 8th house is a kind of a continuation from the 7th house when it comes to relating. because this is about sexuality in all forms, whether you're single or in a relationship. But it's also about the deeper commitment with your significant other, whether that is a love partnership or a business partnership. So it's really the nuts and bolts of this relationship, the merging of your emotional and your material resources. How is that going to happen? How is it going to go down? The nuts and bolts of it. How are you going to merge? Okay, and it's all the issues around that. It's also the 8th house is also your finance house, which does affect when you are combining with somebody. So it's your investments, insurances, banking, accounting, taxes, everything to do with that. It's also inheritances and legacies. The 8th house can also be about death of some kind. It can be a literal death, but it's often, quite often, it's really symbolic. So this is like an ego death. Something that you've been carrying around has been, sort of an ego issue for you is going to transform and into something else. It can also be about regeneration or renewal of something. So like the phoenix rising out of the ashes, that is very much an 8th house energy, endings and beginnings. So with this card coming in, this is indicating an ending and a beginning, but as I said, it can be symbolic or it can be literal. It depends. Solar eclipse, revolution. So swift changes coming in for you. Complete rearrangement going on in this house. So a change in direction or a change of life path. You're going to be breaking old patterns, which was echoed in your 2nd house because you had South Node life's debts, which is all about casting off things that no longer suit you, don't work for you anymore, breaking old patterns. It's echoed again in this house, which is, the two work hand in hand. Breaking old patterns, endings and beginnings. The old falls away to make way for the new. So whether this is you committing to somebody and you have to now change the way you've done things before, or whether you are ending something, or you are regenerating or renewing something, or you are bringing in a partnership of some kind, whether it's business or so on, whatever. But it could also be in this house, if none of those are applying for you, it could also be that you're diving in to this house to fix or change something, which is going to create a better circumstance. I'm just going to let the kitty out. Hold on. Okay, so when it comes to fixing or changing something, this could be a monetary thing or a financial thing. Something. It may not actually be relationship based at all. But when it comes to fixing or changing whatever it is, you're going to create much better once you've gone through that process. But it's going to be a process, all right? There's going to be some kind of upheaval here going on. You also could be forced to make a decision and act on it. Really, the solar eclipse is going to put you under such pressure that you've got no choice but to focus on what is in front of you right now. This is not about the past. This is not about the future. This is only about the present. Okay, exactly where you are in this moment. What are you going to do? You could, as I said, you're going to be having to find balance after an upheaval of some kind, which is what the eclipse, what it's got behind going for it. It's going to cause a revolution of some kind, whether it's internal or external or both. It's coming for you in this house. Then in the 9th house, we have Chiron healing. So 9th house is the house of all things international and foreign. So this can be travel related. It's international, so it's long distance, all right? So it could be anything to do with that. But the 9th house is also about adventure and exploration. So that could be to do with travel, but it could also be to do with new horizons that you are exploring, whether it's internal in your mind or whether it's physical. It's also to do with higher learning and education. So this is university level education or adult education. It's also about understanding or learning about the deeper concepts of philosophy, religion, and belief systems of all kinds. Whether this is local belief systems or international, all right? But it's normally, the bigger picture. It's also about faith and wisdom and finding meaning in things, purpose. It's also about intuition and the seeking of truth, the intuitive processes, which can be, which can be applied in a great deal of ways here. Prophecy may come into that, or it could be to do with, practical things like teaching or publishing or promotional work in some way. This ninth house also it rules the law and the higher courts. So whether this is something you are learning about, or whether you're involved in legal situations, or it's part of your work, perhaps you're involved in that in some way. It could also be, this house also can be about your connection with your in-laws, your relationship with them. So with this card coming in, what this is saying to you is that something comes up for review in this house. So this is something that happened before and it's coming back again, or it's a repeating pattern. It's a dysfunction or a wounding or a darker experience that you've had. It could even be a grief of some kind, but it's felt on a very deep level. It's normally emotional, all right? So something is coming back again, and it's requiring you to deal with it, to cast it off once and for all. So this could be, as I said, you'll have to check which area of the ninth house it's coming in for you, how it's coming in for you. But it's the only way to deal with this is actually to bring this issue into the light. So you can't keep burying it or putting it on the back burner or just ignoring it. It won't go away. All right. You actually need to bring it into the light. You need to look at it openly and honestly, acknowledge what function it's had in your life. What was the purpose of this thing in your life? What went down? As painful as it might have been, what was the purpose of it? What went down, and where are you now in relation to that? So once you accept that it had a purpose and a function in your life, once you accept it, then you can come to terms with everything and let it go and release it, and then it should not reoccur. Okay, so it could also be that you are maybe having to travel somewhere to deal with this. So whether you're traveling somewhere to get treatment, or you're traveling somewhere to fix a situation which has reoccurred, an old situation, perhaps it's to do with your home or something. So just see how that comes in for you. It's also got a learning and teaching aspect about it. So it could be that this situation that you have perhaps conquered, or you've grown to understand and release now, you can actually tell other people about it, or you can counsel them, or you can help them in some way. It's everything to do with that. So it may have a medicinal quality to it, a natural therapies or remedies or traditional medicine. All of those may have assisted you in some way to deal with an issue or this issue. Or you could just be, getting a deeper understanding of these modalities, and you're now going to be teaching or learning about them and showing others about them, or perhaps you want to publish something about them. So it's normally about your experience, and you are now formulating ways to help others with it, or it could just be that you are needing to get assistance to overcome an issue. And it's whatever the natural remedy and therapy is going to help you. Or it could be that an interest of yours has been sparked in any one of these fields, these modalities, and you're now going to be learning further about it. So this could be medicinal, as I said, but it's also more than likely natural therapy. So this is homeopathy, chiropractic, naturopathy, any kind of natural therapy, or it could be the understanding of remedies and the application of them, and even traditional medicine. So whatever it is, it's coming up in this house, and it's the formulation of that. How are you going to use that in your life, and to heal you, or to heal others, or to understand it better and study it? But ultimately, normally Chiron is about overcoming and releasing the experience that is dogging you right now. Then in the 10th house, we have Aries I Am. 10th house is the house of career, fame, reputation, and it's also about your public status, which may be changing. It's also about authority figures, whether this is somebody personally in your life, like a parent or something like that, or whether it's somebody in your career, like a boss or a guru, or somebody that you look up to, or it could even be a famous person that you admire. Something about this comes into the 10th house. So with this Aries I am, it's you're going to be fired up about something. You're going to be getting the energy, and it came in your first house as well. But you're going to be fired up about this. It's going to, it's a very passionate energy as well. So it could be something that you're passionate about. Perhaps you're changing, your life path or your direction in your career or something like that. But it's going to be activate this passion in you. But it's also a very no-nonsense energy, this Aries. No nonsense, okay? No game playing, honesty, cards on the table. It's about getting started, and there's a winning element to this. It's the urge to win, or the urge to take charge and sort things out. The very best way to harness the energy with this is in a disciplined and measured manner, all right? So disciplined and measured action. Speed is indicated. You may be needing to make a speedy, a really speedy response. Or it could be to do with speed. Maybe that's coming in for you in some way. But leadership is required. You could be involved in sports at this time, athletics or something where speed is required. And it's everything to do with that. It's also about teams. You may be working in a team where you have to cooperate with others. But you're forging ahead in some way. There's competition there, challenge. You may have to confront or defend someone or something. And this is where the winning and the competition comes in. Just avoid aggression. Okay, that's where the measured and disciplined action comes in. So avoid aggression or rash action or quick temper at this time, because it will not serve you in this house. You want to achieve what you need to do, and getting sidetracked with that could blow things out of the water and cause a lot of problems. In the 11th house, we have your destiny. 11th house is the house of your friendships. It's the house of your personal hopes and dreams and your hobbies and interests. It's also the house of your contacts and your networks, which you're building up over your life or in your profession or just personally. It's also any kind of group activity that you may be involved in. So this could be online groups or social groups, or like a society or an association or a group activity that you're doing. It could even be a club situation, like a club sport or a club activity. It's also the house of global consciousness, social reform, and trends. And it's the monitoring of trends, the sensitivity to trends. So all of those aspects come in. It is also understanding what goes on in systems and groups, all right? Understanding the deeper machinations of that. So with your destiny coming in, this card is kind of indicating aloneness. And this is purposeful. It's a destiny card, so whatever is happening for you in this house is supposed to be happening. So you just, above all things, you must just go with it and trust that things will work out, because it's destined, okay? You may be feeling out of step with others at this time, feeling different. So this could be affecting your friendships or your group activities that you're involved in, or your contacts and your networks, how you're interacting with others. You could just be feeling really out of step with others, feeling different. Your perspectives are shifting with regards to your friends and your groups. Perhaps you're not seeing things the same way anymore. It could be that you're needing to work alone, or you need time alone. This is about contemplation, to work out each step as you go along. So what is your path? You're probably not going to have access to advice or help at this time to understand what your path is or how things are going. And this is necessary because this is about finding your own way, finding your own truth. What is right for you really in the end? So, and the only way to do that is to go inward and do a lot of contemplation and soul searching and understanding of yourself and acceptance of yourself and what is right for you, all right? So it's a necessary thing. There's inner knowing here that you need to access, because your inner knowing knows what to do already, knows what your path is. And you just have to understand that things are fated right now, and trust that things will work out in the end, as stressful and as difficult or as tricky as things may seem to be. In your 12th house, you have earth element stability. 12th house is the house of the unconscious, which rules a great part of our life. This is your unconscious motivations, drives, deeper feelings, and so on. And it's also where you go when you need to retreat or rest or withdraw or reflect, okay? So it has that lovely deep quality to it. It's the house of your spiritual life, your meditation and your mysticism, and even your healing, where you go for deep healing. It's also the house of escapism, which is fine if you just need to get away for a brief bit to rebalance yourself. But when you're escaping from life in general, then you go into addictions and so on. It's the house of resolutions and endings. It's also the house of service to others. So this may be a profession of yours, or you may just enjoy doing it, or you may want to do it at this time. It's also the house of karmic lessons, and everything to do with that. It can also be reflected in your experiences in institutions of all kinds. So whether this is a university or a library or a government institution or a hospital, anything like that, it's your experiences there and what goes down, what you learn while you're there. So earth element stability, whatever is happening in this house, it's saying, you need to bring stability in, or you are finding stability at this time. You need to be deeply rooted and stand strong when tested or when there's difficult conditions going on. This is about being deeply rooted, okay? You may find that nature activities or spending time in nature is really going to be beneficial for you at this time. So this could very well be time on the land. So whether this is an activity for you or a profession for you or something you're longing to do, time on the land. So this could be you growing your own food, or perhaps you're buying a piece of land which one day you want to utilize for a specific purpose. So it's all of that. It's also gardening and getting your hands in the soil. All of these activities could be very important for you right now. Nature activities. So whether this is retreats or mountain biking or something where you're out on the land enjoying various types of activities which are deeply nurturing for you, where you spend time on your alone, where you are in a reflective state of mind. And it's a kind of meditation, a moving meditation, and so on. Relaxation is required at this time with this card as well. But it's also about being practical and being organized. So if none of those other aspects are coming in for you, then this is what you need to bring in: practicality and being organized. Don't let outdated views keep you stuck as well, because this is a deeper motivation or a deeper drive in the unconscious which can be affecting you. You could be self-sabotaging, all right? So don't let outdated views or fixed views which are not serving you anymore, don't let them hold you down. Action to try new things is required now. You must let go of your fears and try new things. You can't just keep plodding along doing things robotically or monotonously. You need to change things up now. This card can also bring in all kinds of factors to do with sensuality, whether this is physical sensuality or you enjoying sensual activities, whatever that may be, all your five senses. It can also be the card of materialism. So this may be holding you back in some way or is creating problems for you. So have a look at all of that and see how you can better utilize your energies to move you forward. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe, and have a wonderful month, and I will see you next time.